So the next presenter is one of our customers. He's been here every year since they implemented the system. It's Duncan from SMI. So he's going to just share their priority implementation experience with you. Okay. Duncan? Good. Thanks.
Everyone had a lovely lunch. It smelt and looked lovely, but it certainly wasn't white shirt friendly or beard friendly. So, if I pass over through lack of food, forgive me. So, I'm Duncan Rodgers. I'm not a managing director. I'm not a director of any sorts. I work with within SMI as the ERP specialist. And what I do is I act as a conduit between the grown-ups, the users, and Medatech. So what we can do is we can all work together as one partnership in making implementation, changes, development, whatever it is. So I'm not IT background at all. So the lovely presentation that Fody gave earlier on, however, I did take out the fact that you said it would cost us half. So take note of all of that with SDK, so I got that bit. But what I do bring to my party is the fact that I've got over 30 years experience in supply chain, purchasing, manufacturing, supply, sales and distribution, warehouse management and stock control. So I bring that to the business, and then I can work with the ERP system. But what I also did is I've had 20 years experience with ERPs. Don't ask me why I get them, I just get them. I understand how they work, and I understand what they are supposed to do, and I understand that they're the network of a lot of businesses. So I've got a short video today to tell you a little bit about SMI and what we do as a company. We're an SME based in Andover in Hampshire. Been going for 30 years, and in the last 6 years, we have massive changes, including in the implementation of ERP with Medatech. Following on from what Richard was talking about and the challenges you had, and I loved your presentation, by the way. I love the honesty. That was wicked. But we all experience these things. And where I'm going to pick the journey up on us is post-go live and what we faced as a business and how we cope with it. So I'll just move on. Ooh. Is it working? It was working. Great start. Well done, Jack. I did tell you I was not IT. I'm glad it's not me. Oh, this one's, would you like me to wave? Sorry about this.
Yeah, we use the cursor.
Cool, okay. So we're going to show you a short video about SMI, hopefully explain what we do. And then we'll move on to the short presentation we've got. So I want to talk about, after the video, I want to talk about what we faced as a company together, what we did about it, and what the successes were, because it is a success story. Okay, so, and I just got a couple of suggestions for everyone to consider as they leave. So thanks very much.
Established in 1992, Scientific Management International designs and manufactures cable systems that form the central nervous system platforms operating in hostile environments, including naval ships, submarines, aircraft, offshore power generation, and transport. With more than 60 people operating across 5 countries, SMI has had capability approval from the Ministry of Defence for nearly 3 decades on the production of submarine pressure hull glands and bespoke pressure-molded cable harness systems. These products and connectors reliably connect a platform system throughout their life, ensuring operators have the performance and control they require to optimize platform effectiveness. SMI has delivered year-on-year growth for 6 consecutive years and remained the preferred supplier for through-hull penetrators and connectors to the Royal Navy's nuclear submarine and surface fleets, in addition to installations in aerospace, energy and transport sectors.
Cool, thanks, Jack. So, yes, this is exactly what we faced at post-go live. We had the perfect storm, and partly it was ERP, partly it was climate, it was financial climate, the political climate and social climate, and then COVID hit. So we representing it here as the perfect storm. Okay, so we had changing key personnel. Due to changes in the business, certain key personnel left the business and they took an awful lot of the knowledge with them. So we faced that challenge. We had time invested in key users within the company, and they had to go back to their day jobs because business was growing at an incredible rate. And so what we had a lot of users with an unfamiliar system being asked to do new processes, and they thought they didn't have any support. What they didn't know is they did have that support, and what we instilled in them was the confidence in what we were trying to do. So what also happened was, whether you had the uncertainty of what was going on in the fact that they were given a brand new system to work from, and as I said, we're a 30-year-old company, but only recently started to use computers and things like that. Previously, it was all pen and paper walking around the factory. And we've all been there. And the change is horrendous, is just, sometimes it's overwhelming on a lot of people. So with that, we got a lot of disengagement, and they didn't want to know. I'm going to go back to my old ways of working. I'll walk around with a piece of paper. I won't put the data into the system. So the grown-ups were screaming for the data that the ERP system had promised. They wanted their return on investment, which for us was huge, absolutely huge investment at the time. And so they wanted data to do what we're doing now, which is making informed decisions based on that data, but they wanted it straight away. So their expectations had to be met as well. And so some of the areas within the business actually went backwards, and it led to poor performance in the business. As I say, low morale, and bad practices kept coming back in. Some people even were opening up the old system and trying to use that. So it was a stressful time for everyone. So we took a step back. And we said, right, we've invested heavily in this ERP software. What can we do about it? We had a fantastic team with the Medatech team, and Christine was on board then, and Cherry and Gemma, and I've known them in the whole time I've been doing it there. So, but we invested in extra training where it was needed. Does it work? Yeah, thank you. In extra training that we needed. And we made sure that Priority was able to keep pace with the changes in the business. And what we did is we took note of what the concerns were with the users and told them why it was so important to make the step change that we were asking them to do. They'd all been trained on what to do, and they knew what to do. It was just getting that engagement to asking them to do it. Because, as you know, Priority ERP system can give you an awful lot. And compared to our previous system, it was a mile away from where we were. So everyone had the familiarity of a very simple system to go to something that could be very complex. And so what we did is we made sure that the users were able to fully understand the impact of what they were trying to do. All right? So, and all the while, we were growing exponentially. We decided to build a new factory on top of the other factory. Then, while we were doing that, we had all that disturbance going on, and we're still trying to make product and meet deadlines. And then on top of that, COVID hit. So then everyone went home. And everyone said, well, it's all right, yeah, we've got to get home, but we've still got a business to run. And we did it. We managed to do it. All right? And so we know, and as some of you are aware, with implementation, no implementation is seamless. And if you think it's going to be seamless if you haven't done one, it won't be. Expect the unexpected, and post-support cannot be underestimated. It really can't. So the support level in any business is dependent on what your business profile is. And you can appoint key users, or I think Cody mentioned the fact that some companies have internal developers to help the software along. And that, but also, we engaged with Medatech on a huge level, and that helped us through it. So all the pain points we were able to do, but what we did was we were able to actually transition very, very quickly with a bit of refocus when this storm hit with all these disengaged users to be able to actually meet the demands of the business and actually exceed them, which was fantastic. So we were able to keep pace with the change in the company as well. All right. So for me, the post go live period is very, very, very important. Okay, it's all about return on investment for the grown-ups, as I said, because you've just invested £250,000 in software and training, and everybody ready to go. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. So we ensured the investment that we done. We kept pace with the business growth. We got a resolution on all the go-live issues with minimal impact to the users in the business, and that was really key, minimal impact to the business. The engagement and the priority across the business, and removed old habits. The old habits that migrated over, trying to convince some people that was bad was quite a challenge, but we got it because the team we've got is fantastic, and it was really good. So they wanted to change, we're just scared to. They're just scared to. So we invested in ourselves as well as Medatech. But what we were able to get from that is a better understanding of the system long term. And I'll give you an example of one of the areas where we needed to walk before we could run. So sales team done a fantastic job on selling the product because it is a good product. And but it can do so much. But I likened it to a kind of a Swiss Army knife. And that is, you go in the shop and you look at your Swiss Army knife and go, well, that one, it's massive. It's got 15 million different things it can do. But 2 months down the line, you find you're only doing 2 or 3 things repeatedly. Those are the things you've got to do well. Those are the things you've got to do, and you've got to understand what you're doing. So we invested in that area of the business, of that area of the system, and understood it. And what we're able to do is, when we came to the period of change, which we're now in, we can now prepare information for Medatech. So we can give them the information, we can work with them, we can understand what they're talking about, and when they say it can do this, to Richard's point, you know, nice bunch of flowers, we go, yeah, but what about this? Can we do it this way? And it's a working partnership, and it's really working well. So, those are our success stories. So yeah, so we're able to keep pace with the business. This is huge, actually. No real increase in headcount. So everyone throws bodies at things. We did the diligence in the system, and then we made the system work for us. And that enabled us to do things much more efficiently without increasing headcount. The only place we really increased headcount is production, because we need to build more product. But from an office perspective and a system perspective, much to the disgruntled of Keith, because I won't buy any more licenses. But yeah, so that's a really good success story. And the user engagement and the simplification of processes. And one of the ones I wanted to talk to you about there is, I don't know how many of you are utilising the production operation with works orders, a part of the system. From a sales perspective, it was fantastic. You can do all this and you can pinpoint exactly where you go wrong and where your inefficiencies are, etc., etc., etc. our engineering team was sold on this. Absolutely sold. Because of the complexity of our product, they wanted to know the ins and outs of where it all went wrong. So off they went and started configuring all the routings, etc., etc., etc. When it came to actually executing operations, production nearly died. Well, they quickly realised that they could potentially spend all their time stood at a computer going, reporting that operation, barcodes out, dum, queuing up, blah, 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 and not actually making any product. So if we'd have left it as it was and we didn't understand what we were doing and invested the time in understanding what we're doing, we could have ended up with an extra 700 man-hours on production. And for us, would have crippled us. My boss there sitting there, the finance director, Nick, he's going, yes, he would have done. So again, like I said, it's another success story. So my journeys, and my presentation is quite short because we're post-go-live journey, and I just wanted to say, when it comes to all the planning and all the preparation and everything else for go live, don't underestimate what comes next, because expect the unexpected, because it will happen. We had the perfect storm and we learned from it, but the testament to the team is they all pulled together and we got through it. We kept calm, we invested on, and we got the support from Medatech that we needed. So personal thank you to Christine and to Cherry and the team, because the patience is infinite, especially with me. And there you go. Thank you very much indeed for listening.